Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and these are some of the top stories we have for you tonight. Prosser is granted a motion of stay, and a hometown Cruisin makes good. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8.
News Channel 8 is sponsored by AT&T. Centennial is joining AT&T for greater coverage, more innovation, and better service.
In our top story tonight is the confusing situation that occurred just over 24 hours ago in the Zion Farm area of St. Croix, which involved apparently an unrelated car crash and a botched robbery. Wes Small investigates the sketchy turn of events.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. We're in Zion Farm. I want to tell you about this. It was at the traffic light here at around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Perhaps you were stuck in traffic in rush hour and you saw a lot of commotion here. Details are kind of sketchy, but a couple of things we do know. That it was a DUI-involved turnover vehicle that led a lot of police officers and emergency responders in this area. Then, as we start pointing up towards the area of Rattan and the area of Free Will Baptist School, we understand that possibly there was a burglary interrupted in progress. Now, how these two instances came about, if they were connected, whether or not, we're going to unravel this hopefully with Deputy Police Chief Howell and try to sort things out. We do believe we have a person of interest in custody, a suspect, as well as a possible weapon. We had a vehicle, a man supposedly working on a vehicle in an area by Free Will and Rattan. This is confirmed by some sources that got the News Channel 8. Neighbors became suspicious, and upon that found out that possibly these people or person was going to rob this house. Now, we do know that we had several individuals, possibly at least one, with a weapon escaping through the bushes up in this area. So with that, we'll just have to try to get this all figured out, see if we have any more suspects on the loose. Neighbors do need to look out for each other. With that, they're trying to get this sorted out. Again, it happened yesterday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're in Zion Farm area. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes, and we look forward to bringing more light to this situation. As Wes probes further, the facts arise, and Deputy Police Chief Howell is expected to make a statement soon on these confusing events. And the latest on Jeffery Prosser and the bankruptcy hearing. Although it's been authorized to sell Vitelco and Innovative Cable Companies, a breaking event occurred in Harold Willicks's Superior Courtroom as an emergency order of stay on the VI Public Service Commission's approval of the transfer in early May. In May, the PSC voted to let Prosser's biggest creditors, the National Rural Utilities Corporation Finance Corporation, take ownership of Vitelco and Innovative, although Prosser objected to the claims, continued on forth on July 6th. The U.S. bankruptcy judge, Judith Fitzgerald, issued 3 orders on Tuesday. One, authorizing the immediate sale of the property. Second, the dismissing of Prosser's attempt to delay or stay that sale. And third, regarding legal fees. And with the motion to stay granted, Judge Willicks has now set September 17th as a new hearing for the appeal. And the motion could be granted again. Nothing in the order explains why Willicks issued a stay or whether the stay was in response to Fitzgerald's Tuesday order. The turn of events for Vitelco could create an extensive delay to the bankruptcy proceedings. And your Caribbean report is next. Stay with us. And let's take a look at your Caribbean report for tonight. We start in Haiti, where Haiti's Electoral Commission has been put back until Friday on its ruling on who would be allowed to run for president in November's election. A spokesman for the commission said the status of the number of 34 people who are expected to be candidates is in dispute. Among them is hip-hop artist Wyclef Jean, whose presidential eligibility requirements have been questioned. The commission has been expected to push the list of candidates back until Tuesday. And in the meantime, the Interim Recovery Commission in Haiti has moved a step closer to implementing a set of priorities aimed at helping the country rebuild after January's earthquake. It has approved a $1.6 billion project, including a $5 million plan to overhaul the country's educational system, $2 million to create and 50,000 new jobs in agriculture. The commission met Tuesday at Port-au-Prince during a session presided over by co-chairs Haiti's Prime Minister Jean-Max Belrave and former U.S. President Bill Clinton. The commission's job is to determine which reconstruction projects are to receive backing from the multi-billion-dollar funding pledge by foreign donors. Mr. Clinton said he would also develop a plan to make sure donors give the funds that they have pledged. And the search begins for a CARICOM chief. A panel of CARICOM leaders has begun the process of choosing a successor to retiring Secretary General Edwin Carrington, who leaves office at the end of the year. Following a meeting in Grenada, CARICOM's chairman, Bruce Golding, the Jamaican Prime Minister, said a 9-member committee would prepare a short list to be put before the heads of government. The committee will be chaired by Barbados Foreign Minister Maxine McLean. The panel also decided on a new entry to be called a Council of Ambassadors to oversee the implementation of CARICOM's decisions. And in Dominica, government has announced a new recovery plan for the ailing but important banana sector. Among its elements is a grant to lower interest loan schemes for farmers' rehabilitation. The Agriculture Minister, Matthew Walters, also said that we'll be providing funds to farmers who are moving out of bananas and into crops, along with subsidies and fertilizers. And the American Ballet Theater has been given permission by the American authorities to visit Cuba for the first time in 50 years. The move coincides with indications that cultural and artistic exchanges between the two countries are becoming more common, and that the Obama administration is considering a further ease of travel restrictions to Cuba. The U.S.-based company will perform at Havana's International Ballet Festival in November. And that's your Caribbean Report for tonight. And when we come back, we'll meet with Ryan Benjamin. I think you'll like this interview. Stay with us on Channel 8. And earlier today, I got the chance to meet with a one-of-a-kind artist whose roots are in St. Croix and has made good in the world of graphic art and comics. Let's take a look. I got an opportunity to meet a hometown boy that makes good. This is Ryan Benjamin, and he's come back to St. Croix, and he's become quite successful in the cartoon world. And the cartoon comics have come a long way since they started out in the 1950s, but it's a really great way to get kids involved in reading. It can start off with pictures and with words, and they'll build from there. So it's very important to get your kids reading in one way or another, and if Comic Books turns them on, this is going to be a great interview for kids to watch. Ryan, tell us a little bit about your past and how you've come to be where you are and how your roots started in St. Croix.
Okay, well, I was born here back in 1971. I won't go too much into that, but I left when I was about 14, and I moved to Florida, and from there I went to high school out there and college, and from college I found a job. I got a job drawing comic books with Image Comics, and then I started working on tons of comic books, and I totally saw a new platform for me to take my art skills and do something with it, and then from that it branched off from working from Image to Marvel Comics, and then I started doing work for Dark Horse, and then DC Comics. So I've done tons of stuff from like Star Wars to Batman to X-Men to Cable, Gambit, you name it, Spawn.
I got